taking a cue from the last presentation that just happened, where we're talking about emoticons and how, in a digital age, how you move from emotions into emoticons and emojis and stuff like that. The topic that we would be discussing is marketing to citizens, going beyond customers and consumers. Now, if you look at the way marketing, brands, products and services have progressed in the last about 12 to 15 years, consumers have a pretty large voice in what a brand or a product or a service is now developing. It's like moving from an autocratic unit where I'm a manufacturer or a producer of a service or a product and I create something for customers, to actually now starting to listen to the voice of the consumer and incorporating what now is termed as social listening into the product development of the service. So we have 4 people from 4 very different streams, and as I want them to introduce themselves, they start the topic on what they believe they feel about this, and then we'll actually go into the discussion.
Hello, good afternoon everyone. My name is Lynn. I'm the head of marketing for IRIS. So at IRIS, we incorporate the 3 P's of sustainability, people, planet, profit, into the way we do business, because it's very important for us to align how we run the business with what benefits the society and also the planet. Okay, so we reference to this topic, marketing to citizens. We take a 2-pronged approach to this. First of all, in terms of marketing to citizens, we do listen to our customers. We do listen to the citizens via integrated marketing. We do digital marketing, social media. We get their feedback and understand what their needs in terms of the products. Like recently, I also did an exhibition, whereby consumers, I still prefer, in a way, to really listen to the customers on hand. Say they prefer now more green products. They want to be more environmentally friendly. So we take all these considerations and of course improve the feedback and of course improve the product and solution.
My name is Bruno. I work since 2 years for an Irish dairy company. The first thing you find when you work for an Irish dairy company, when the CEO has a speech, you don't understand the word he's saying. So I was recently on a marketing event in Kuala Lumpur, and the event was all how to build brand loyalty with the consumer to your company or to your product. And the way to build that brand loyalty is not via your product, because everything that your product can be replaced, it's actually via emotions. You need to have an emotional message. I tell you, this event, I never cried so much on an event. I mean, there was a flood of tears, the whole room was bloody dissolved. Unilever overdid it a little bit. They're not selling soap in India, they're actually helping Indian children to reach their 5th birthday because they wash their hands and they don't get diarrhea.
Thanks, Bruno. Before I move on to Simon, how many of us in this room are just pure marketers? And how many consumers? So do we feel that our voices are heard when organizations create, market and deliver products and services, or we believe there's still a huge gap? And there's so much more that needs to be done to kind of align products and services to what we actually need. Is there a gap? Yeah. So that's what Simon addressed.
That's a great segue, thank you for that. Yeah, I can start off being my typical provocative self. The marketers in the room, just put your hands back up a minute. Okay, I'm going to make an accusation. We are, I put my hand up as well, I'm a marketer, we are the most selfish people. We are terrible. We spend our entire lives telling the world what we want. We try and force people to do the things that we care about. And yet, here we are, that position in the history of our own industry that has never, ever been possible before, that we actually have the ability to hear what people care about. Not because they're telling us, but because they're talking to each other about what they care about. Through things like social listening, we can now actively understand what people care about, what they want, what they need, what they desire. Steal the words from Kotler. This is available to all of us at a small amount of money, a small amount of time, but even right here, right now, if anybody wants to challenge me on this, come and grab me in the break and I'll show you exactly how to do it. We can understand what people care about, and yet we insist on continuing to do the same selfish things we've always done. We tell the world to buy the things that we've already made instead of listening to what people actually want and then making the things that they want and need to actually service their needs. Not thinking quite so much about ourselves, and maybe even just find that nice balance, 50-50, in finding what the rest of the world wants from us, and that we can then profitably deliver to them, so that we're meeting our needs as well as theirs on a very balanced basis.
Hello, I'm Hasrat Munasinghe from Commercial Bank of Sri Lanka. We are the third largest bank in the country and the largest private bank. If I may bring my view to this discussion, I see in the last 2 decades the target group or the customers of an organization has evolved or grown bigger. 2 decades ago we would see the consumers, the actual users of the product as the customer of the product. But we see now with the involvement of many other social groups, namely media, the pressure groups, the civil society groups, social interest groups. So it's not really the actual end user that you need to look at. You need to look at the broader picture, because these groups, as correctly mentioned, that is being addressed through a CSR activity, these groups have a bigger say, or day by day their influence is growing. And in some cases the influencers are much stronger than the actual users. So companies have to be mindful, not only look at the actual end user, but also look at the total stakeholder or the environment around that they operate in.